Did you know that the average fine arts person, like full-time artist, makes six figures? My name is Dr. Amy Stewart, and I have been in education for over 15 years. And I also built a seven-figure company after leaving teaching. So I like to take what I know about business and what I know about education and make resources. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 unique businesses that are just for teen artists. So if you haven't got the list already, down below, I have 25 of them. But for this video, we're just going to dive into 5. Okay, so the first one we're going to dive into is an art subscription box. I love the idea of subscription box. There are literally subscription boxes for anything people are interested in. Why not your art? And I think one of the reasons why people really like getting subscription boxes is it's like Christmas, like once a month, like surprise, I got something, and they weren't even thinking about it, and they come home and there's a box on their doorstep. And when you're getting into art subscription boxes, you want it to be some kind of art that can be scaled very quickly. I mean, if you sold one versus the next month you sell 20, do you have the capability? Do you have the bandwidth to create 20 different boxes? And one of the ways that you can do that is making your art digital and then using a website like Canva to create like e-postcards or covers for your phone, like wallpaper for your phone and your tablet and your screen. You could also use platforms like Printify to make like mugs, t-shirts, bags, things like that. And every month it could be one piece of your art on a couple different things. You could also do like journals and stuff like that. And these types of boxes can be fun, not just for yourself, but they could be a really great gift for somebody that you don't really get to see that often. So if a grandma has a grandkid that lives on the other side of the world, this is something that Nana can send every single month. She doesn't need to think about it. She knows she's going to get it. And her granddaughter is absolutely going to love it every single month. And it's going to be something special from Nana. And then on the flip side, let's say you have a Nana or an auntie that lives hours away and she's all by herself, or she's living in like, I don't know, like assisted living or something. And it's just kind of hard to go see her. You know, people get busy. Like I get it. But sometimes people get forgotten, and being able to send them a monthly subscription box, like a stationery or recipe cards, things that have your unique art on it, could be something really special and just let that other person know that they're being thought of. The second business I would suggest is doing like handmade cards or stationery. I actually did this when I was in high school. I don't remember who I gave it to, but I clearly remember taking like notebook paper and putting all kind of designs down the side and coloring it in with color pencil and just making it nice and pretty. And I was in high school and I bundled it together and like gave it as a present. And I know I would have liked something like that. If I was an artist and this is the business I decided to get into, I would create a set of stationery for a wedding gift. Now, I got married early last year, and when we went on our honeymoon, you know, I had a stack of cards that people had given us things. Like there were people that like had sent us things from our Amazon wish list, like early on. I had given them a phone call, sent them a text, whatever, like, thank you so much. But then there was people who sent cards to the wedding, and so there was checks and gift cards and cash. And I had all of these, and I thought, oh, while it's still in my mind, I want to write like thank you cards. And so if someone had given me a gift as stationery from, it was custom with our name on it or whatever, even just a thank you, and it had something with a wedding on it, would have been sufficient. And then that with maybe a book of stamps, that had been a really cute gift someone could have given us for our wedding. And then while I was on my honeymoon, especially if you go someplace fun, if you're going to like Disneyland or like Bahamas or something, be able to do their thank you cards and be able to send them and have the postmark from the honeymoon would be kind of neat. So another idea in that realm would be making handmade bookmarks. And what would be interesting is if you can pair up with, let's say, a teen author who has a book out, and maybe you can put some of the scenes on the bookmarks and they can kind of go with it. They could sell it together. Maybe they can buy them from you and they can put them with their book. That might be kind of neat, especially if the book doesn't have any pictures and they just have the cover. I used to read a lot of R.L. Stine books when I was a kid, and they had no pictures except the cover. And I would I would comb through that cover to see if I could get any details about the character or about what was going on, because that was really it. But it would have been kind of neat if I had some like extra pictures. And a bookmark could do that. Next idea is doing your art live. Now, I see this when I go to Disney a lot. They have it at King's Dominion, Busch Gardens, like any type of amusement park. They have somebody there doing characters. But to be able to go to a wedding or maybe a graduation, something really special, and being able to do sketches right then of kind of the scenes that are going on, I've seen that a lot. There's photographers that come out. Some people are even having like social media, like content makers come out to the weddings and do some filming too, because that's a different type of memory. But there are people that go to weddings and I'm sure charge a ton of money to draft up something, make some picture live in action while the wedding's going on. This could be fun at a conference, even if it's more of like a corporate conference. Whoever is organizing the conference is probably going to want to have some type of fun entertainment. There's probably going to be a lot of people with their little booths with business like stuff, and they're handing out mugs and, you know, I don't know, little stationery and post-its and things like that. But they could also have you there. I mean, there are people who rent out those photo booths that like you stand in the middle and it whips around, or just regular photo booths. People rent all kinds of things for conferences. Why not your services? The next thing I would suggest is doing custom murals for like city buildings and schools. Now, before you think, oh my goodness, that is way too, like, I could never. Everybody has to start somewhere. For this type of business, I would be doing two things. One, I would be researching who is actually in charge of this. Is there some type of like art and recreation section of your local government? Does your local city handle it? Like, who handles things like that when they're going to commission people? You want to know who they are, and you want to know when they make those announcements. And a lot of times it's not going to be a fun social media blast, especially if it's coming from the city. It's most likely going to be on their website. So if this is something you're interested in, you may want to go ahead and know where their website is. If they have some type of email list, subscribe, or even reach out to that government official and say, hey, this is my name, this is what I do, and this is what I'm interested in. I would love to know when you guys are going to be offering some opportunities for commissions for murals in our area. This last one is, I don't know if it's the most creative, but I know it is lucrative. And this would be art restoration and conservation services. Like, art, especially historic art, it's a $1 billion industry. I mean, the money that goes into keeping the Mona Lisa, you know, like secure. And I'm sure there are people right now hanging upside down at the Sistine Chapel, like touching things up and making sure everything is good to go. Like, to be able to go in and preserve a painting that is 500 years old or 1,000 years old, high money. Like, if you have that skill, you can pretty much tell them what you're going to charge, because what are they going to do? Say no, and it just disappears. The other piece, which might be interesting. So my uncle used to work for the National Archives in DC. I don't know everything that he did, but I know it had to do with like conserving documents. He didn't really talk about his job much, but now he works for a university in the archive department. So it's not anything like secure or like confidential or anything like that. But part of that job is to like digitize and conserve everything, like archives of everything. And sometimes it's just letters and journals and reports and a lot of text. But sometimes it's old maps, sometimes it's old paintings, postcards. My uncle and I both collect vintage postcards. He actually is the one that got me into it. But those things, it's all part of history. And there are college programs out here, there are government programs that is the only thing that they focus on, is conserving things. It's stuff that we don't even think is important. They are collecting and keeping. And if you have the ability to restore this type of art, I mean, you can land yourself with a government job, or maybe even like a government contract job, which can be very lucrative. All right, so that was just 5 types of businesses you can start if you are an artist. If you like the rest of them, check out the link below.